Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha, welcome to All Intuitive Conversation. And today I am connecting with Crystal Cooper. So let's bring her onto the stage. Aloha, Crystal.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's great weather over here in Georgia.
Yes. So I saw on your LinkedIn profile, are you in Atlanta?
Yes, I'm in Atlanta.
Cool. So are you, look, I'm jumping right in. Are you from Atlanta or is that just where you live now or what? What's the story?
I've been here almost 15 years. I'm from South Georgia, small town on the Georgia-Florida line, but I moved here to pursue my career, finish college, family. So it's good here. I love it here in Atlanta.
Yes. Or what do you really call it? You call it the ATL?
I call it ATL, yeah. You know,
Okay.
folks are like, what do they tell me? If they don't know, I'm like, what's Atlanta, Georgia? They're like, oh, okay.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, so you're in Atlanta, and I heard you're saying that you went to school there and you started your family and all that. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. So I went to school here. I went to Clayton State for my undergrad in business. Went to Strayer for my grad in business. Worked in business operations for large corporations, and then I went into full time entrepreneurship the last almost 5 years ago. So it's been a nice journey. It's been a nice journey.
Yes. So what's your career?
Actually, when it comes to my career, I work with businesses, others businesses, and mostly women entrepreneurs. I help them find that sweet spot, that sweet balance between womanhood, motherhood, and entrepreneurship. So,
Hmm.
making sure that they are taking care of themselves holistically, self care, while operating a thriving business. So, yeah.
Okay. So what got you to that point?
So, working with corporations, I've always worked in operations and HR. And
Mhm.
then I also saw that once I started my part-time business while I was working full-time, that there was other entrepreneurs who are women who also had careers. But I also saw that they needed help when it comes to managing their operations, establishing a team, and leveraging their business to scale. And
Mhm.
so I actually said, you know what, how can I be of assistance to them to help them when it comes to administrative tasks, when it helps comes to back end operations and workflows. And so I created a business around that to help them. And even more so this year, I shifted to also help them make sure that they have people aligned with their business to help them grow. So I have a virtual assistant agency so they can go back into being feeling that they don't have to pick between being a full woman and household duties and a mother and a thriving business. You can have all three as long as you have everything aligned in your business to help and support you.
Mm. Interesting because this one came out which was just connecting me was like just helping women in their heart space, right? Helping to guide them. So I was like, okay, so that kind of makes sense. But immediately what stood out for me, Crystal, is that you have four cars come out like right off the bat, right? And so only this one had the woman. So I'm going to show you what the other three are
Oh,
that also that came out. It was a what we're calling the release card, just kind of just going out there. But then there was the two of wands. If you we talk about tarot, but it's two men in the world, right? But then it was the four of cups, which also was depicting men. Um, two men in that. So it was like one man, two men, and another two men. And it was based off that stood out like the emotions piece of this. So when you're talking about you're focusing with the women and connecting with them, how do you resonate with male clients? Do
And it's
you
interesting that you say that too, because I have, even in my business, strategic partnerships where I have business partners and we work, and they're all men, and I'm the only woman. But I
uh-huh.
help them when it comes to organizing events that they have, strategizing administrative tasks, because as you know, most men, we're not going to say all, aren't as savvy as creating organization
Hmm.
and doing administrative tasks and follow up. And so I created, a partnership with them. Okay, whenever we're doing events and things around the city of Atlanta, because they do events around the city of Atlanta with Atlanta,
Hmm.
then I help them in that aspect. Like I'm their project manager.
Makes sense. Because like I said, out of all these pictures, it's only one woman, right? Out of all of them. But it's like you're talking about the clients for like you kind of serving women. But yeah, it was like, well, how are you also serving the men in your communities and working with them? So tell me, what is that like for you being the only woman?
Honestly, it's interesting working with all men. When I worked in for corporate business operations, I managed teams of all men. So,
Hmm.
I'm not, I guess sometimes if you are, what's what I'm looking for? Or if you are easily offended, working with all men may be difficult, but I'm not. I'm from the
Hmm.
South Georgia. I've had, being the eldest child, I've seen all kind of things and did all kind of things when it comes to the business aspect. So working with men is quite interesting because I'm the grounded one. I keep things aligned, and I also know, even being a woman, not to being connected and centered with myself, not letting my emotions guide me when it comes to project managing their things. So I'm the centered one when things go astray, and some guys get into the feelings when we're dealing, because it's like five guys. I always hone back in and say, okay, this is what we're working on. This is what we need to get done. And they always be like, man, thank you, mama. Thank you for keeping us
It's
together.
interesting because, like you said, it's one, two, three, four, five guys here, right? But then literally it does say right here on this card, it's like partnering with others. So it's like, yeah, that's totally in line with you. But when you talk about the emotions, because like I said, I'm hearing, yes, I get it done. I am not, easily offended and can make that work. How do you still care for yourself and um I guess maintain your divine feminine being connected with so much divine masculine energy?
Oh, that's good. That's a good question. Oh, okay. I can tell you exactly how I do that.
Yes.
I am so serious when it comes to boundaries. Like, even for me, they know you cannot call me after 7 o'clock. 7 p.m. is like absolutely, you cannot call me. I'm spending time with my daughter. I'm enjoying watering my plants. I'm enjoying spending time, just being centered. So setting up boundaries where, okay, we know after 7 o'clock, even if we hit her up or email her, she's not gonna get back to us until the next day.
Yes.
They know when I'm on vacation, because I probably go on vacation for the last year. I've been going on a vacation a month. So they know when I'm on vacation for, like, whether it's 3 days or for a week, I'm not communicating with you, because I'm enjoying the moment and where I'm at and the people that I'm with, and not so worried about work because that's going to be there. So
Yes. So how did you? Okay, so because for those women that are, because like I said, there's a lot of us that have done that. They've worked and all that, but you sound like you have gotten like this is what it is. I'm spending time. What did you do to get to that place? Like, how would you encourage a woman that may be in that similar situation? But yeah, she let folks email her till 9 o'clock and be stressed out and which I've had many guests not taking their vacations, and their relaxation. Like, what was it for Crystal? They'd be like, you know what? I'm cool with putting these boundaries, and I'm gonna do that. Like, what got
it
you
was
there?
it was a moment of being overwhelmed and tired. And it's like, you know what, as a woman, why do I feel like I have to be always available? whether
Mm-hmm.
it's in relationships, whether it's in partnerships, whether it's with family. And what actually centered me was taking it full circle back to my family. Um, my family always felt like it was my grandma that was the matriarch, and then I was the junior matriarch. And
Mm-hmm.
then when my grandmother passed, folks told me like, we're gonna have to lean on you. And then I had realized like that's not gonna be what it is. Like my grandmother didn't live a fulfilled life of peace because so many people relied on her. Or
Mm-hmm.
that when something go down, someone in the family got in trouble, they called her, and if she couldn't figure it out, she called me. So I realized, like seeing her even past her transition, like she was happy, but she wasn't fulfilled, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to be fulfilled. And so I said, you know what? I had to tell family like, don't look for me to be a up and coming matriarch. Because my grandma, like, you have to figure things out on yourself. I'm not an enabler. I don't loan out money that I can't give. You know,
Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and so it was setting up boundaries with my family and said, okay, if I set these boundaries with my family, I had to do it full circle around my business, my career, the people I work with, and even my clients. Like, I talk to my clients and I train and well, I help them to set up boundaries also so they don't feel like they have to be available around the clock.
Yes, because that is definitely, like I said, the very first one that came out like was you. And it talks about on the very beginning, on the bottom, it says being there for those, in need. But then the next one was like release. And it came out like this is the word. It's like you release those expectations that others had placed on, you that, oh, this is what's going to happen. This is what your position is going to be. But you were aware and observed what your, as you say, your grandmother not having fulfilled a full life. It was like, I want something, different. And so that's why it was like, because like the trigger statement on this other card that came out was like, how do I restore like myself? And it talks about I'm broken. And you saw that, I think, there in your grandma, like there was something that was broken. Like, nope. Because it literally says I'm illuminated. It says you, as you release, because like I said, release is your word. As you release your attachment to the high and low, you find peace and balance. Honor the cycles of your body and your energy now. And it's
That's
like
good.
that's yeah, and it's like that's what it sounds like you did. It's like, nope, I, I I'm not gonna, do that. I'm not gonna get caught up in all worrying about everybody else's stuff and emotions as they're looking all like sad. Sitting there like, no, like you'll be okay. But that's the thing that so many times that as individuals we don't take that on. We take on everybody else's stuff at the
Hmm.
sacrifice of our own. So I'm loving that you have that and you're exuding that energy towards others. So the next question, as I'm looking here and as they're looking forward and they're holding the world, what is it that is the next step for Crystal?
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Oh, wow.
Mhm.
So my next step is like I'm launching a virtual assistant agency where I'm helping other women find that balance so they don't feel like they have to sacrifice womanhood or motherhood, to be an
Mhm.
entrepreneur or sacrifice entrepreneurship for womanhood or, parenthood.
Yeah.
So my virtual assistant agency I'm actually launching next month. But aside from that, my daughter's graduating from high school this year. So I said, you know what? I really want to, and that's why we've been traveling more. Because I want to make sure that it's consistent that I travel monthly, that I work from anywhere because I have an office space, but I literally work from anywhere. Um,
Mhm.
but just continue to travel and give guidance, even in my traveling, whether it's through, I don't know whether it's through just this is what I really want. I just want to be in places everywhere and people just say, I just want to be in your presence and feel the power of your presence and pay for that.
They want your strength, the power as you traveling around. Like, wow, like that is amazing. Like, how are you doing it? Uh huh. Uh huh. Yes. Okay. So fatherhood came up for you. What does that mean for you?
Oh, girl, where my water at? Mm, I don't know.
Cameron.
I I really don't have too much on that. Like I have a lot of answers for a lot of things, but not too much when it comes to fatherhood.
Okay. Um. So, sis, the word that's kind of coming through is explore that. Because, like I said, you had all this male energy reading, and the fact that you work with so many males, and so there's this. And then when you were talking about your daughter, it was like, oh, okay, but it says fatherhood, not motherhood. So, but it came out next to the restore unbroken. So it literally became restore, fatherhood, strength. But then the other one that came out for you also was your third eye, the sixth chakra, um, of encouraging you to explore that
That's good.
a little more. Just give that some thought of what that looks like for you.
Okay, that's good though.
Yeah. And it doesn't always have to be I think a lot of times some people think like it's like biological fatherhood. It definitely can mean that. Like if there's stuff that you gotta deal with that. But who is the father figure supportive for you? Because it goes back to this. It's still a female that was you with still like this male kind of energy helping you to support you in that area. So it's it's encouraging you to look into that a little more and
That's good.
figure out what that means for you. So with that, what kind of support would Crystal like to have in her life right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Whew. What kind of support would I like to have in my life right now?
Hmm.
Well, honestly speaking, I've always been a goal getter. Like I've always accomplished, even in my family, like being the first to go to college, graduate college. Besides my grandmother, the first to own a home, first in entrepreneurship. So I'm used to being first. But as far as support, it would be nice to not have to depend on me
Hmm.
so much. I think even as a woman, we feel secure when we know we don't have to just depend on us as making even executive decisions in life. Like I need to get tires. Do I have to worry about me getting advantage of with the pricing because I'm a woman? You know,
Mm.
as opposed to somebody saying, "Well, I'm going to go take your car and get tires for you," and you know it's done.
Okay. So now that's making sense. And I got a whole chill on my arm, girl, when you was talking. Um, because yeah, because that's where, as we grow up as daughters, a lot of those things where we used to think like we're gonna be taken care of is like that father figure. Like, I'm gonna be there and like support you. Like, one of the things that my dad used to say to me all the time is that if I got $1, 75 cents of it is yours at any time. Like I just grew up just knowing that I was just gonna be taken care of. So there's this sense of comfort, security that that they're gonna be there. And so and this going back to the strength, like how you are, like you always have done that just like solo on your own. So it went back from like the fatherhood there, but then it's like now you're doing this all by yourself, which is cool at the same time, but it's still nice to have somebody there that can
Yeah,
see eye to eye with you and like I got you kind of thing. So yeah, so just being thinking about that more of what it is that you really want and encouraging you in that way. Um
which
so
is
yeah.
true because my true I've told someone recently, like truly, the last couple of years, my main goal was to make sure my daughter graduates, that she fulfills all her necessary needs in high school with extracurricular activities. So we have been so busy with so many extracurricular activities. Every day is something that she's involved with.
Mhm.
And then she's a entrepreneur too. She goes to school, get out of high school. She has a hair appointment because she does locks, and then on the
Yeah.
weekend she works at her job on the weekend at Party City. So sis is busy,
Y'all
but
getting it? Yeah.
but then my whole thing is once you get out of high school to be open to explore either other relationships where now I have more time because I don't have to devote it to my daughter and what she has going on, because she has been a priority, as we are do have from as mothers, but also releasing that, okay, I don't have to be a mother full time, so because she's going to be a young adult in college now. So even though
Yeah.
I'm still her mom, still having time available to have other relationships that's not centered around raising my daughter.
So I was like, okay, so I went to the goddess deck, African goddess deck, and you got Oshun, and it talks about a fearless love. And so now she's, back to just herself. But here's what it says about her. She's from the temple of lovers in the element of water, and it fell right under the cup symbol here, which talks about your emotions and love, right? And it says the guidance from her for you is dare to love. Begin with loving yourself. Allow yourself to be loved. You feel everything deeply. You are porous with the wall around your heart. This is your paradox embodiment. You are love and you are worth loving. Your divine assignment is to remain open to fearless love. You deserve to be loved in your language. You are worthy of a love that remembers your beauty and your ugliest moments. Don't allow your unhealed past to block your future. Real love is a sacred contract that says, I am vulnerable and committed. Your heart is safe with me. Let's expand our consciousness together. So it's almost like a whole nother conversation, her heart. And he's saying, like, your heart is safe.
Ooh, girl, I need that whole little thing you just read. Well, I
With,
can mount it in my mirror and put it on my wall, right?
I feel you. Because it's like, that is, yeah, because it's like you've gone through these cycles. Like I said, you have this love and you helping others, and then you're working with others and you have this energy, you taking care of them. They give you the guidance of, okay, fatherhood and what you're looking for in that figure and what it represents of the safety, the connection, which is very much connected to the root chakra. But then, like, it's still like I'm getting it done. You got your own strength and energy as well as there. But it's okay to be loved, to have a partner, to have someone to be able to, like, yeah, I know my car is going to be washed. It's good. Like,
Right.
that you don't have to do it all just on your own, just being able to, and okay, they said again, to release, to breathe, like, you know, um, kind of energy. So yeah, so I'll make sure you get that word of encouragement that they had
Yeah, because I'm about to print that out.
for you. So yeah, so cool. Well, Crystal, it has been a pleasure connecting with you. And for those that they want to reach out with you, especially if they're like, yes, I want to help support her with this business, this online venture, where can people reach you?
Sure. So they can actually go to my website, make it really easy. It's meetcrystalcooper.com. If you go to IG or Facebook, you can just put in the same thing, Cohesive Consulting. You put in Cohesive Consulting, you can find me on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, but meetcrystalcooper.com is my website.
Love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for connecting with us today. Until we come back again for another episode, this has been an all intuitive conversation.
Thank you.